All right. So, Paul, welcome. Thank you for joining us on Behind the Panels. Like I said, this is a brand new podcast tailored to, the indie creators, and we talk about not only your projects, but what it's like actually getting into this business, on, the goods, the bads, and all that, and the ugly that come with it. But yeah. Well, like I said, thank you and for joining us today, and tell us a little about yourself.
Hey, thanks. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me on and sharing the platform with me. And let's
Absolutely.
let's grow the brand new show you got. Let, let's
Yeah,
let,
yeah,
let's put it
absolutely,
out to
man.
big old audience, right? That's the
Hopefully,
goal.
hopefully that's the goal. But even if one or two people watch this, man, is it's cool with me, man. I love having great conversations with creators and just picking their brains, and I I just love to create, whether it's comic books or anything. I just love being in that bubble, and
That's
just being
awesome. Yeah.
around it. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
let us into your world and what we got going on. Yeah,
Dude, my
absolutely.
world is kind of nuts. And I can say with confidence, I am not anything typical when it comes to indie comics. I got a whole different journey, whole different system, and
Hmm.
I do it a little bit differently than most, I think,
Okay.
at least from how I treat the business side of it. My day job, I'm actually a mediator and a lawyer,
Okay.
so that takes up a little bit of time. Um, and writing comics for me, I'm the owner, I guess,
Hmm.
publisher of Acorn Comics. I don't really give
Yeah.
myself a title because it's just me. Um, but I started doing this. It's kind of my midlife crisis, right? Like
I hear you. I hear
when
you.
I was turning 40, I was looking around. I'm like, I've got a great life. I love a
Hmm.
lot of the things I'm doing, but I don't do anything that's just for me. I didn't have any
Exactly.
kind of outlet that was just for me.
Hmm.
And at the time, like, my wife has been working in comic conventions as her, side gig for a couple of decades now. So
Okay.
since meeting her, I've been going to a lot of conventions and
Hmm.
meeting a lot of people, and so I've been surrounded by all this like fantastic talent,
Oh yeah.
and it's just been all around me and hugely inspiring.
Hmm.
And so when I'm thinking about, I used to write when I was in high school. I used to, a little bit in college, and then life happens and you kind of drop off, and the things
Yeah.
that aren't making you money right away just
It
kind
lit that
of
spark
fall the
for you.
wayside.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, you know what? It doesn't cost me a damn thing to just sit down and write
Yeah.
and see if I
That's
can
it.
see if I can put together a story that I can be proud
Hmm.
of.
Yep.
And so that's what I started doing. And because of some of the people that we were friends with, and because of my just natural fear of
Yeah.
rejection and people telling you, well, this is a piece of shit.
Hmm.
So can I cuss here? Is that all right?
Oh, oh, where this is,
All right,
we
cool,
do
cool.
whatever here.
All right.
We do
Um,
whatever here.
you know, I didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Like I would get up in the morning. I usually wake up earlier than my wife does. We didn't have a kid at the time,
Hmm.
and I would just wake up and spend an hour and a half writing and trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to put this story together and how to make it the best that I could possibly make it.
Hmm.
And eventually, I found, my artist co-creator Casey Cavedo, and this is what became Heroes and Zeros, which is the first title we put out.
Hmm.
Um, and I talked to our editor, who's Devin R. Scott, who's the currently the editor in chief of Summit. You might have seen some of their stuff
Hmm.
popping
Oh
up.
yeah.
They're making a big launch right now. They're doing great, which is great because I know a lot of those folks, and they're all amazing creators and good people, and I'm real happy for them. But Devin was a huge help
Yeah.
in going on
Well,
this.
that's what's up. You had that
And
guidance.
exactly. And
Hmm.
and so once I was confident that it was as good as I could possibly make it,
Hmm.
that's when I'm like, okay, let's start doing this,
Start
and
putting this to work.
got together with Casey, and we started putting the pages together and found the rest of our team, Reed and Maya.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't know how I lucked out in just
Yeah.
random finding people through social media who
Hmm.
are that talented and that dedicated and have made my work so much better than it would have been otherwise.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, like I was looking at the assets you sent me, Heroes and Zeros. That was your first
that was the
project you
first
put
one,
out.
yeah. Mhm.
For your first project. especially you're not even the artist, you know, you hire an artist or working with artists. It's amazing. The
Thank you,
first of
man.
the artwork for especially for a first project
Man,
is
Casey's
amazing.
brilliant. Yeah.
Amazing. Even I was like, damn, I'm a little jealous. It looks a
So
lot
like,
better
well,
than
that's
my
like
first
I look
project.
at if I didn't pick something up
Yeah.
going to these conventions and knowing all these folks
Hmm.
over the years,
Like very
then I just
beautiful.
wasn't paying attention. I wasn't
Mhm.
trying. And like, and that was so one of the first things I was looking for when I was trying to find an artist to reach out
Yeah.
to is storytelling. Like
Yeah.
that to me, like you don't have to be now Casey is a great artist and he draws beautifully, but you don't have to do that if you're a great storyteller with your art.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
that's the most
Exactly.
important part. And he was that, and he versatile and had a great. He could tell in different styles. He could work well in,
Hmm.
um, and we just hit off right away. And he obviously had a feel for where we wanted to go with the story, and it just clicked, man. And so I
Oh
was
yeah, no, like it looks amazing. Like just before you even just dig into it, just opening it and just looking at it, even from the front cover, it's like, okay, this is some very just the artwork alone is beautiful. And I can imagine just actually sitting there digging into the story. Like just off rip,
yeah,
just the
exactly, man.
art,
And
just
like
looking at it is just look the first impression definitely got me hooked, you know, because they always say first impression is
awesome.
everything. That first, I was like, okay,
Hey,
all right, all
all
right.
right, good, man.
Yeah, no, it looks
Hey, when we get
amazing.
issue two ready, I'll make sure you got. We finish the Kickstarter for issue two in November, so we got
Okay,
all the line art in,
okay,
working on
and that's for
colors.
issue two of Heroes and Zeros, right?
Yep.
Okay, okay, because I know you got another Kickstarter launching, or another project launching that we're gonna
Yes.
touch on in a minute. But yeah, man, Heroes and Zeros, I'm already definitely hooked on it, and I can't wait to just continue following that story.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you, man. That means a lot. I love hearing
Mm.
that.
Oh yeah, so you see that, and like I'm telling y'all guys out there, like I'm showing y'all the artwork too, and I'm giving y'all clips of everything. Trust me when I tell you, if it's fire, go check it out. You know, there's gonna be links everywhere. You know, still trying to make everything look pretty, but definitely check that out, man. Definitely check that out. So yeah, I know you got a Olympian 2 coming out too, right?
That's right.
That's
So the
your
Olympian
next
was the
one.
second title. I did listen to a lot of advice when I was trying to do this and trying to start. There were
Mm-hmm.
two pieces of advice that I ignored completely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First one was your first comic should be a short one, like a 4 or 5 pager. No, man, I wrote Heroes and Zeros initially as like a 6 issue,
Yeah.
series. And then
That's
again,
how I
after
did it.
talking to Devin and Casey, we decided on doing three double size issues on it.
Hmm.
And it's going to have the backup story. We had the backup story that uh, Gail Simone wrote for
Yeah.
us on the first issue,
Nice.
and then the second issue, we have another backup story following up on that one
Mm,
that's going to be illustrated by Agnes Garbowska.
nice.
So we got some real talented friends coming in and helping us out with those. The third issue, which probably realistically going to be sometime in 27, is going to have at least a 6 page epilogue with it.
Okay.
Um, and then, we might have an extra, Mortimer the Magnificent bonus story when we do finally do the collected edition,
Yeah.
down the line, and we got that. But um, so the Olympian was the
Hmm.
second title, and then the second
Okay.
piece of advice was, don't put out multiple,
Yeah.
like finish the first one, then go on to the second one.
Mm, yeah.
I was too impatient.
Oh
I
yeah.
was,
Uh-huh. I
and
must
part of,
I did the same thing. Like sorry to cut you off, but
I don't
I
know.
know exactly how you feel because after I got like my like the first two issues of my flagship series out, Chaos Theory, I said, man, I got like so many ideas. I got like 100 different like let's go. Like I put out I started writing this, this weed centric comedy story. I wanted to I started putting that out, and then I started working with this comedian influencer Joselito. We put out one of his issues, and I'm like, damn, now I got like four concurrent issues running at the same time. Like this is gonna be a lot of work and like a lot of money to pay out just to try to
but
get
it,
all these putting out like one
but it's a
after
lot
the
of
other.
fun.
Oh hell yeah. Oh my God. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
trade it in for a minute.
but and that's the thing, like because you say, look, as an indie creator, unless you're doing everything yourself, and there's some
Yeah.
people who are talented enough to do that. I'm not
Mhm.
one of them. Yeah,
Same.
it's not cheap.
Yeah,
It's not
no.
cheap.
Oh man.
So
No.
so that's one of the reasons why I think I jumped on the Olympian
Hmm.
was because I knew it was going to take a while for Casey to get through issue 2 on Heroes and Zeros.
Hmm.
And as a brand new creator, I did not want a year and a half to go by between first issue and
Yeah.
second issue.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
so I wanted something else in between just to keep the
Hmm.
audience and keep building the audience.
Yeah. To keep
And,
them
I'd
engaged.
worked, yeah. And I knew my co-creator on the Olympian, D Fish,
Hmm.
who I've known for a long time now. We've been friends since before I was even doing this. And, she does her weekly web comic, The Finding D, which is just brilliant,
Yeah.
hilarious. And then, but she also does incredible like comic book superhero type work. And she just, from what I'd seen, like I know she has a web comic that she's been working on, Giant Girl Adventures. But other than that, she hasn't really done a
Okay.
comic book that I've seen in a long time. And I'm like, D,
Uh,
I know you got like 20 other things going, but if you wanna
yeah.
check
Yeah.
this
Little
out, I
something extra.
already got a couple scripts written for it. Like I
Yeah.
think I had the first 2 issues, of course they're gonna get edited before they get
Yeah.
finalized. I had the first 2 issues written,
Hmm.
and she wrote back like, man, this I love this, let's do it. And so we got on that and we were able to put that out because it's a 22 pager instead of a
Yeah.
46 pager. So we
Hmm.
were able to get that done a little quicker. And now we got issue 2 coming out,
Hmm.
tentatively April.
Okay.
I am very committed with the Kickstarter. I've been on time with all my projected
Hmm.
fulfillments so far.
Hmm.
Heroes and Zeros may be a month late at this point. But I'm going to keep obviously keep the backers
Yeah.
apprised of that. But
No.
we got all the
Absolutely.
artwork in. It's just getting
Hmm.
all the final pieces together and getting everything printed and get it out. But I don't want to launch another campaign until the last one's fulfilled.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
like, I'm
Makes
not going to ask
smart
people
sense.
to take my word for it if they haven't gotten the last one in their hands yet.
Exactly. Hmm. You build that credibility
So
up.
tentatively, we're looking at early April to launch
Okay. That's right
Olympian
around the
issue
corner.
2. It is right around the corner, and
Hmm.
like so. But again, Dee's been working hard on that. We try and have most of the artwork done before we launch. Like
Okay.
our goal is let's have the line art done at or near the end of the campaign.
Hmm.
So right now, I think she's got the first 7 or 8 pages finished
Okay.
out of a 22 pager, and just keep going. And she's pretty quick with it. So I'm expecting to have you know at least 12 or 15 by the time we launch.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So
I
yeah,
definitely can't wait to see that one either because I looked at the first Olympian issue you sent me. It's another one. Like so far to me, you're batting 100% right now. You know what I'm saying?
I,
Like
see,
even
I
I'm
even got
like
the
Jesus
shirt.
Christ. Yeah, I know.
I even got the
I seen the
yeah.
top. I'm like, okay. I
I'm
see the
actually
merch.
considering offering like putting this shirt as an add-on for the next campaign. Just see if
Do it.
anybody wants to get it.
I would definitely sign up for that tier. Absolutely. Absolutely. Count me in for that one. But
All
yeah,
right.
even yeah, and it's like I said, heroes and zeros, just off that initial just that first time you see it, it's like, all right, just looking at it looks dope. Can't wait to dig in. You know what I'm saying? And then now from seeing your other IP, Olympian, I'm like, all right, so now he's just bragging at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like he's already batting 100%. This looks great. Like I can't wait to really invest in not just further, just the rest of your issues that you got coming out for both your IPs, but like what else you got? cooking
What
in
else
the
I got?
kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm
So there's
invested into Acorn now. Like I want to see what you guys
I
are really
appreciate
putting
that.
out now.
So what I got obviously a lot of ideas, a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
plans,
Hmm.
and the number one most important thing that I'm trying to do is I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Oh yeah.
You know, because
Hmm.
I've seen too many people just push forward and try and get too far ahead,
Hit a wall.
and it ends up killing them.
Yeah, because
And
you could only do, but so even if you have a team, just sometimes too much is just too much. You know what I'm saying? Like so
it,
I
yeah,
agree. I 100%
well,
agree.
and also like obviously we're very staunchly anti any kind of AI. Like
Hmm.
you will never see any non-human artwork or non-human writing in our comic books.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm going to pay people. Like
No,
I'm
absolutely.
not one who negotiates with artists or other creatives. I'm like, all right, what is
Hmm.
your rate?
Hmm.
And if I like you enough to ask you to be a regular on one of these titles, you know, you're going to be worth your rate. And either I
Yeah,
can pay. If I can't pay it, I can't pay it. That's one thing. But I'm not going to
absolutely.
say, hey, can you do it for half? Like
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
and ultimately, look, my goal is not to get rich off of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, that'd be great if, James Gunn sees this and wants to bring me into the
yeah.
DCU. James, I'm listening. We got
Yeah,
some mutual friends you
yeah.
can find it.
Hmm.
Um, but it's I just want to break even, man. I want the
Yeah,
comics to pay for themselves. That's my
yeah.
ultimate goal. If I get to
Because it's
that point,
fun.
I will
It's fun.
exactly
I
like
love
this
doing
is
this. Like not just making the comics, but going to the conventions,
yeah.
sitting at tables. You got people you don't know from anywhere just coming up to you like, oh man, like I
I'm getting
I
used to
read your
that.
story. Yeah, it's different. Like growing up in my early 20s as a creator, I've mentioned a bunch of times so far on different episodes. I started with music, and
Mhm.
then doing it for so many years, I kind of got used to, a lot of people just coming up to you and things like that. But I feel like it's a whole different energy because when I started the comic book scene and I've been, done a lot of appearances and, the conventions and things like that, oh, man, I love your issues and, I'm following you and da da da. I'm like, it feels, it's like a different kind of energy and I love it. I love it so much. And then, I took a little time off, during COVID mostly so I could
Yeah.
finish school, because I was
Okay.
getting my master's degree in business, so I could
Hey, great.
really
Good for you, man.
make sure that I get because I'm all in on this. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm at that point in my life like I'm going balls to the wall. So let's do this right. This is what I want to die with, So now that I'm done with that, got my degree, it's time to get back in the kitchen. So like that's where I'm
Right.
at
Yeah.
right now, and I just love the energy this community brings. I mean, there's a ton of hate. We can't deny that. We love to love, but we also love to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like when we love huge, but when we hate, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. But that's like,
yeah,
man, I tried to crap out.
yeah,
You can like my stories, you can dislike my stories. All right, cool. Either
yeah. I'm
way,
doing it for
I'm
me. I
glad you read
love
them.
it.
I'm glad they made you feel something.
Yeah.
But at the
Thank
same
you
time,
for
like
reading it because you
if
still went and bought it
if
and read
you're
it.
not, as long as you're not being a jackass,
Yeah.
cool.
Like
Like
let
you're being a
us
jackass, but yeah, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, like let us
But
have our fun. I think we deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like let
yeah,
us
and that's
have this one thing.
yeah. I've found like most of the people in the comics community are right on board with that. Like it's most of the people I know are great people. They're
Yeah.
very supportive and encouraging,
Hmm.
and they want to see other people succeed.
Hmm.
Yeah, and especially in the indies, man. It's like
Oh yeah.
I will
Hmm.
I will prop up anyone's indie comic out there.
Hmm.
I don't even care if I like it. To
Yeah.
be very honest with you, if
Huh?
somebody else is out there and this is their
Yeah.
passion, there's an audience for it somewhere. And
Exactly. It may not be for me,
I want
but
to see you
yeah, it may be for you.
find your audience and reach that goal of yours,
Yeah. And that's
whether
how it should be.
I'm your audience or not, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And that's how it should be, like I may come across something. It may not be my cup of tea. I was like, it's just not something I would write. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe someone following me
Yep.
does. They don't know anything about this, and that's how it just show the love. Whether you like it or not,
Exactly. Exactly.
it doesn't
What does
cost
it
much to
cost you
just
to
hit share, you know?
Yeah, exactly. What does it cost you to repost
Yeah,
to follow somebody's pre-launch? Like,
exactly.
I don't care. Like,
Exactly.
look, man, you got a pre-launch? I will follow your pre-launch.
Hmm.
I don't care as long as it's not on like one of the like Comicsgate heavy sites.
Oh,
Like I'm not
yeah.
I'm not going anywhere near that because if look, man, I know there's a lot of people done some stuff on Indiegogo,
Oh,
but I if you're on Indiegogo, I just don't know if you're part of
yeah.
that. And
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
unless I know you personally, no offense, I'm not coming near it. But
Absolutely.
but other than that, like yeah, man,
Hmm.
like and if I can throw a few bucks your way when the
Yeah.
campaign launches,
Yeah. Like,
and that
what's
was actually
20,
some
20,
advice
50
somebody
bucks? You know?
yeah, that was some advice somebody gave me. Like even if you don't have a ton, like a lot of money, go and just put a dollar with no
Yeah,
reward on it.
exactly.
Help them get that much closer to their goal. And
Anything. Like, what's a dollar? I know
right,
things are tough, but everybody got a dollar.
right, and it helps. It helps. Like
Yeah.
and that's so like if I'm running a Kickstarter, I'm trying to find like I want there to be a real good entry level spot.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I try and make the digital very affordable. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna make it like, oh my God, I'm, eating my lunch on this one,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to make it, $5 or less for digital.
Well, yeah, because the cost is so much less. I mean, it's because we're not having to print the books, we're not having to ship them. So the
Right.
only investment really was just actually putting the project together. So
Yeah, and hey, you want to
$5 a bunch of times, like that's gonna pay for it on its own. And it's
right,
it's a
you want to
cost
read this
effective
you want
way.
to read this comic before it hits Global Comics and Comics One.
Yeah,
Cool. You got it early.
yeah.
And again, sometimes like with Heroes and Zeros in particular, um the backup stories are
Hmm.
exclusive to the Kickstarter. So
Yeah.
you're not getting the Kickstarter copy. You're not going to see the bonus stories, the Gail Simone and Agnes Grabowska stories. You're not going to get that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Um,
what's up. That's cool.
so
Definitely.
because you
Yeah.
gotta give your backers a little bit something extra.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a little treat, you got to give them a little something extra if you wanted to. And that's what's great. That's what I love about Kickstarters, like seeing all the different incentives, and some of them, I've come across some Kickstarters where I was like, you know what, that's not for me. I'm not gonna drop like $100 on that. But I've seen some great deals, and I'm like, oh man, they got like this a great package all in all. And I was, something I would definitely put good money towards.
Right, right, right. And
Mhm.
that's the other thing that I've had a little bit of success with, and I don't
Yeah.
always see this on Kickstarters, but man, like I don't pretend like I know what I'm doing. I am trying to figure this out as I go.
I
So
think
my
we all
attitude
are.
with a lot of it is, like, why not try?
Yeah. What's the harm in
So,
trying? You never
so
know.
like with the last version of the Olympian, with issue
Hmm.
one of the Olympian, I had a 22-page story. As you know, you got 24 printed pages.
Yeah.
I mean, I can find something to fill those 2 pages,
Yeah.
but let's see if anybody wants to put a half-page ad in the back.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I got a couple folks
Hmm.
that bid on that got that tier, which was great. And it
Yeah.
really helped me get closer to the goal. With
Exactly.
the last issue of Heroes and Zeros, and I think I'm gonna do this on everyone because it doesn't hurt a bit. Man, I put up a
Yeah.
$500 tier
Oh wow.
of the Acorn Comics patron,
Uh-huh.
which is you put this down here now. You get a copy of every comic we publish through 2030,
Oh wow.
physical and digital, and
Hmm.
whatever, stretch goals we get on the Kickstarter campaign. And you
Oh,
don't have to pay another dime.
for the next
As
5 years.
5 years of Acorn Comics.
That's
And
good.
and for somebody who's already backing all of our campaigns,
It's a
especially at one
it's
of
a
the top tiers,
no-brainer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually ends up being a good deal. And you know what? I didn't know if anybody like I got one person to back it on that.
Even
I'm like,
even even one person is,
that's
oh wow.
awesome, right?
Yeah, that's great. Someone
That's
actually
awesome.
was somebody actually looked at my stuff, came to my page and was like, "You know what? I'll give them $500. I'm gonna invest in them for the next 5 years." That's a big
Right.
investment.
And so let me tell you a little bit. Like I said, I got a few things cooking that I can't talk about yet
Okay,
because it's
okay,
not just with
okay.
me.
Give
Not
us a
just
little
with me,
teaser.
but we got some stuff. We
Uh-huh.
got some stuff cooking that we're hoping to start talking about a little bit later this year, but
Okay.
by next year for sure.
Hmm.
But as far as I'm going, like obviously now right now I am focused on these two titles.
Yeah.
I'm getting the first arc of Heroes and Zeros, which is a 3 issue arc. I'm getting
Uh-huh.
that done. I want to get that done by the end of next year.
Nice.
Uh, the Olympian, I want to get this one done. It's a right now
Hmm.
it's as a 5 issue mini,
Okay.
and again, I'm hoping either next year or early 28 will be through the first 5 issues.
Okay.
After that, so I'm already working on a few things, but I've branched out a little bit as far as what kinds of stories I want to write.
All
And
right.
because sometimes you want to test yourself a little bit.
Of course. That's the best part of being a
And
creator.
and there's one like I can never tell how old people are looking at them. I don't know if you're my age, you're 20 years younger. I don't know, man. Um,
I'm
but
old enough to have adult children. Let's just say that my children are
well,
both adults.
I am too, but mine's 6. So I started a little bit later, but I don't know if you remember back in the 90s,
Hmm.
the animated The Tick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And did you
I
ever
love the
read the
tick.
original? Did you ever read the original comic, the Ben Edlund
Back,
New England
back,
comics?
back, way back in the day. When I was a child in the 90s.
It was
Hmm.
freaking brilliant. It
Hmm.
was absolutely just spot on
Hmm.
humor,
Okay.
like deadpan, slapstick, whatever it is. Like
Hmm.
that first run of The Tick was classic.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder if I can do that because comedy is, I think, the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Writing
Especially when people got to
comedy
read
is
it.
the hardest thing to do.
Hmm.
Shout out to my boy uh, Tony Nacho. I can't pronounce your last name, Tony, but with Super Guy, um, who's out there right now doing like
Hmm.
the first series I've read since that reminds me so much of the humor in the Tick.
Yeah.
Um, and he's killing it with that one. But I want to know if I can do that. So I've got my idea. I've started
Okay.
writing. I got like probably about 10 pages of the first script done. And I got kind of the outline for the first arc of where I want it to go. And I don't know if I'm going to do it as a series, as a graphic novel, whatever.
Hmm.
But that's somewhere
All
down the line.
right.
Get that
See?
one into reality. And I've got, if you, so, Heroes and Zeros, obviously, that's set way, way, way in the
Yeah.
future.
Okay.
And the way we introduce the world is talking about the past, but it's kind of mythological. We don't know what's
Okay.
happened between today and then
Okay.
that's led the world to change.
Hmm.
But they've got these stories, these myths. They lost the actual history at some point. And so one of the things I am working on is going to be a one shot of the Sentinel Society, which is the original superhero team that they talk about in Heroes and Zeros,
Okay.
set modern day and just kind of a very typical, you know, well, at least the typical format of a superhero team.
Hmm.
I think a very atypical story because I think I got a really good angle on it and a really good characters and characterization with it. But
Hmm.
I'm really excited on that one. I'm working on that, and I don't know if I'm going to include that as, like I said, a separate issue. Maybe that's something that once we're done with the first arc of Heroes and Zeros, we include that as a bonus in like a collected
Yeah.
edition or something like
Like a one
that.
shot, maybe something like that. Hmm.
Yeah, but like I mean, I've got some kind of supernatural
Yeah.
uh drama type stuff that I'm working on. Um
Yeah, you see, now
There's
this is
a lot.
why it makes sense to spend $500 to invest in
Well,
what you
and look,
got
I
going
can't
out for the
promise
next
when any
five
of that
years.
stuff's going to come, though.
You know,
Like, I
but you got
appreciate you.
five, we
I
got,
appreciate
5 years.
you.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, you're gonna feel like, you know what, I think I should have paid twice because so far, and like you said, this is just something, it's a thought right now. And I'm already like, okay, so what year is this dropping? Like,
Well,
when
and
is
that's the
this
thing, like
coming
all
out?
these things, and that's, I know a lot of people have different processes, and
Yeah.
people ask about process, and to me, there is no right answer.
Hmm. No.
Like I can tell you what I do,
Yeah.
and
What
maybe
works
you
for
take
you
bits and pieces of
works for
that
you.
and find what
Yeah.
right. Right. So
Hmm.
when I'm thinking about it, obviously I'll just kind of write the general idea down. I got my little notepad of
Hmm.
where I want to go with it.
Hmm.
I got a banger of a Daredevil series if I ever got a chance to
See?
pitch it.
See?
But what after Stephanie Phillips is done
Yeah.
and has told her story, because I am super psyched to see that.
Hmm.
But like I'll write that down, and then the ones that I just can't stop thinking about, I'll sit down and I'll maybe write the first 10 pages, like
Hmm.
complete script it out,
That's it.
and then I'll try and outline the rest of where I want it to go. And just it's more of a proof of concept thing for me to
Hmm.
say, okay, is this really a thing? Is this really
Yeah.
what I want it to be?
Hmm.
And so far I've had some good luck with that.
Hey, absolutely. And and that's kind of like what I'm trying to do with this podcast. Like, of course, we're gonna have some great conversations and talk about some great projects. But like when I started this journey back in like 2016, you know, I didn't feel like there was enough content out there to like this where, I want to hear your experience, your good, the good that you've had, the success. I want to hear the where you've messed up, the walls and the falls and all that stuff. Because, everyone has their own experience, whether
Yep.
it may feel the same, but it's very different. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it, it's not easy. This is not the easiest thing to get into. I don't care if you think you're a great writer, you're a great artist. The machine that this industry is, just not just comic books. I don't
Right.
whether it's a comic book, it's
Entertainment.
entertainment. It's a lot of moving parts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yep.
hoping whoever watches this, if they're trying to be a creator or they're kind of already in it already, like maybe something they could get some advice from this. Like it'll help them with their journey. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
of course, we they get to meet new creators, new projects, put everybody onto what's going on, and we just, of course, we're gonna get, we're gonna be following everyone's things and coming across new projects. But I want this to help people out too, because like I said, and I'm sure you got plenty of stories when you first started, and I'm pretty sure 1,000 things went wrong in the beginning. You know what I mean? And it's also very expensive, so you
Yeah.
kind of want to learn from a lot of people's mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right,
Also,
so
that
I
make
know,
make sure you
yeah,
can afford what you're doing. Make
yeah,
sure you keep your promises to all your backers. Don't,
hmm,
I mean, look, people who are out on crowdfunding platforms supporting independent comic books,
yeah,
they're doing it because they want to hear the stories that
hmm,
aren't being told by the mainstream. They want to
exactly,
see the little guy succeed.
yeah,
And they will be very, very forgiving if
hmm,
you are upfront with them. And
exactly,
that's the thing. Like, don't make a promise you can't keep.
hmm,
And that's I gotta do an update soon on the Heroes and Zeros, because I don't think I'm gonna hit that February
yeah,
delivery date on it. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to hit March, but
yeah.
it all depends on some other moving
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, like life
Um,
also happens. Like we don't got the Marvel and DC machine behind us where, you know, they could make things happen. We gotta go with life. We gotta
and
go with
like,
life
look,
schedule.
I run my own. I work for myself in
Yeah.
all aspects at this point, which is phenomenal. But also,
Yeah.
if say your day job maybe has a little bit of a downturn for a few months,
Yeah.
I might have to slow down on paying the folks that are helping me make the comics,
Mm-hmm.
which slows things down a little bit.
Yeah.
And you don't like it, but that's
Mm-hmm.
the reality, and you kind of have to just go with it. But we're getting it out, and like it is coming. It might be a month
Yeah.
late, but look, man, it's we're still doing it, and we still have the supporters out there and the backers out there, and we're growing as much as we possibly can, and just trying to get, you know, one reader at a time. We got
That's
our
where
newsletter,
that's where we start. Yeah.
we got the
That's where we
conventions we're
start.
going to. And
Mm-hmm.
this past year was the first year I actually tabled at a convention. It was horrifying. Um, like I said, I'm like a lot of writers. I'm very much an introvert when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to like we're here talking about something that I can nerd out about, so that's great.
Yeah.
But like sitting at a convention, like, hey, buy my comic. Hey, buy my comic. Hey, buy
Mm-hmm.
like it's a lot more rejection than acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to kind
Absolutely.
of get yourself worked up for
Mm-hmm.
that and get ready
Mm-hmm.
for it. Luckily, my son has no fear.
Yeah.
And even though when we go as a just to go to a convention, he gets bored quick.
Mm-hmm.
And if daddy's got a table, he wants to go, but he wants it to be his table because he's going to
Yeah.
draw stuff and he's going to sell stuff to people. And then he's going to run around the convention and find people and say, hey, come over to my table.
Nice.
And when a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old comes up, like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I promise I did not teach him to do that. I did not ask him to. This is just how my son is.
Yeah, whatever works. Whatever
And
works.
and and usually there's an adult with him. I don't let him just roam free, um but like he's gotten me a couple of sales. Like he's gotten a
Hey.
few people to come
Hmm.
check us out.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's but
Hmm.
we got a few extra conventions. I'm venturing out of Florida this year for the first time. I'm going to be up at Granite State Comic Con in September,
Okay.
possibly at IC3 in Rhode Island.
Okay. That's what's up.
Going to be
Yeah.
in Jacksonville. Going to be in um, uh, Delray Beach for PalmCon South next in April.
Okay.
So we got and then there's a couple others
Hmm.
interspersed around there that I might end up doing.
Yeah, that's what's
But
up.
like it's and I'm building slowly. Again, I'm doing one day, maybe
One
two
day
day
at a
comics
time.
here.
That's all we can
Um,
do. It's just us. Like I said, we don't got that multi-billion-dollar machine behind us that we got 1,000 people doing what five of us are doing. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Man, like,
you know,
I think of myself as a writer, but I'm editor,
you're
publisher,
everything. You've got to be everything.
ultimately art director, although,
Yeah.
99% of the time I defer to, Casey and D
Mhm.
because they're better at it than I am.
Oh yeah, but
And,
absolutely. But I'm pretty
why are
sure,
you
like,
hiring
if
somebody who's an
something
expert,
is,
not, yeah,
yeah,
hire the expert, trust the expert. That's the
exactly,
way to do
exactly,
it.
and you also want to make sure, like, they're the expert and they've been doing this and they're great at it, but it also has to meet my vision. Like, this is exactly, like, I may not be the guy holding the brush and the pen, but I've drawn it in my head. Like, I know how it should look,
It- it-
and
it-
or
to,
it should flow at the very least. You know what I mean?
yeah, and to a point, and for me at least, and this is again, so everybody's got a little
Oh yeah,
different process and a different approach to it. But this is why, Casey D are both credited as co-creators
yeah.
because this one, number one, it wouldn't exist without them.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, every time I send them a script,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion is, or my approach is, all these panel descriptions
Yeah,
is a suggestion.
yeah.
And you see where we're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if sometimes I write something that doesn't actually
Just
make
don't.
sense visually,
Exactly.
sometimes they look at it and say, okay, we need an extra beat here. We need maybe a different angle would work better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change it around a little bit.
Exactly.
And that's why I say like 90%
Yeah.
of the time, 95% of the time, they're right.
Yeah, because they also know what works too, because
Right. And so
you know,
and the very few times they'll send me something back, and I might be like,
yeah.
can we see it the other way? How
Hmm.
do we want to do it?
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and
Hmm.
but but I've had a very good luck, like I say, because they're great to work with, and they never take it personal if I say, maybe do it this way instead.
hmm Now, I
But
actually kind of want to touch on something that we you mentioned earlier. It's a little, you speak to different people, go to different groups. I've seen both sides of the arguments when it comes to AI. I know you said
yeah,
for artwork, writing, you're against it. Now, as far
100%.
as utilizing it as a tool, as a business owner, you're trying to be in it's just you and it's just a small little team. Sometimes a project or even a venture this big could you need to wear so many hats. You got to market, you got to be the business owner, you got to do this and you got to do that. Now, how do you feel about using it as a tool as far as helping your business? Not using it for nothing on the creative side, but more on the business side. Help you with structuring
So
things you got to
that's an
do
interesting.
and yeah, because there's two sides to it. Of course, like people could use it to to fully do their project. You could use a lot. You could utilize it. What it's meant for, in my opinion, is just a tool. Help you what you're doing.
So it's an interesting question, and I'll
hmm
say, so I think that that industry
hmm
has done itself a little bit of a disservice because,
hmm
in my understanding, there are two separate types of things that are all brought in now under this AI umbrella,
Yeah.
and all of it's getting the bad press because of the one side, which is the
hmm
generative stuff,
Yeah.
the images that steal from all our other
Yeah.
creators out there.
Absolutely.
um, which to me, again, I'll go back and read the legal case, but this to me is no different than the Napster case from late 90s,
Yeah.
where Metallica sues Napster because all it is they're taking pieces of this and pieces of this and pieces of
Uh-huh.
this and putting it together in something that's meant to put the actual creators out of business.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah, for me, there's no discussion on the generative AI side, and
yeah.
that goes with the writing as well. For it's the
hmm
same thing. Art is art. You don't use it for video. You don't use it for comic panels. You don't use it for writing.
hmm
End of discussion. Now,
hmm
my wife in her day job, she's a neurologist.
Okay.
Now, you want to tell me that there's this other kind of AI that is like essentially it's a souped up search engine or something like that that can help you analyze 1,000 pages of medical documents
hmm
or something along those lines, which I think is what you're asking about as far as the business side of things.
Yeah. hmm
I'm open to learning about that.
hmm
Right now, I don't know enough about it,
hmm
so it's
It's still
still.
new. Yeah,
So,
we're
but
still at its
for
early
me,
stages.
it's
Yeah.
still, until proven otherwise, it's still in
hmm
the same under the same umbrella as the other stuff. It's a lot easier for me to just say, "No, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
I'm staying away."
hmm
And but I think as that kind of tool,
hmm
there might be room for it
hmm
to exist and to be beneficial.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough of how closely those things are tied in. I don't know enough about again, you hear a lot about the environmental impact. I
hmm
don't know enough about that factually. I just know what I hear people saying.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
hmm
Obviously, my biggest issue with it is the theft
Oh yeah. I think
from other
I
creatives.
yeah,
But
I think with every potentially good tool, there's always some way, somehow, someone is gonna m- make it kind of controversial. You know what I'm saying? And
Sure, sure. And but that's where my head's at with AI. It's like
yeah.
for now, look,
hmm
for now it's absolute no one. I've
hmm
never opened ChatGPT in my life. If I only ever
hmm
look at the like Google AI, if I forget to
hmm
put
Yeah.
minus AI in my search.
hmm hmm
Um, but that's it. Like I don't
Yeah.
ever seek it out, ever intentionally use it.
hmm
And is there some potential good there? Yeah, of course there is. Just
hmm
not for create, not as creative. Like it should be
Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
the mindless, boring stuff so we can do the creative stuff, not the other way around.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely see that. Now, it's funny because someone recently asked me this question, and this is kind of why the whole AI thing is on my mind today. And I wanted to get different sides to how people view the whole landscape, whether, it's AI helping you with, business and structuring but just helping you streamline ideas, and people just using it to make the art, make it do the whole thing for you, and to me, I was like, it's it's a complicated answer, you know what I'm saying? Because as a writer and a creator, I don't know how to draw. I'm not a good artist. I used to do graffiti back in the day when I was younger, but it was decent at best. You know what I'm saying? So I started to just wonder, let if you're if you're a writer, you want to put together your first comic book, you have an idea, and it was just asking me, and you had no money, like after bills and rent and just paying everything you got to pay off every month. You don't have anything extra, anything disposable, but you really want to get your foot in the door and to people to start to recognize you. So hopefully one day you can start making some money. Would you ever, what do you think about making would you ever like create a comic book 100%
Still,
AI and just
still
put
no.
it out on the web for free? I was like,
For me,
I
still
don't,
no,
I was
still
like,
no,
I
and
don't
because
think
for,
that would
for, for
work
for a couple of
because
reasons, man.
hmm
People have been breaking in with comic book publishers for years, and it's just like
yeah,
anything else in entertainment. There's a lot of there's more talent out there than there are paid spots
yeah,
by far. Like
hmm
I've seen people in Artist Alley who've never made it out of Artist Alley who their artwork now I don't know how fast they are, I don't know how well they work with editors, any of
hmm
that, but their artwork is on par with anything you're seeing from the big
yeah,
two.
yeah,
But there's always that traditional route to go,
hmm
doing an internship with somebody, try and get your
yeah,
foot in the door, try and meet people, try and get just your
mhm,
script in front of somebody.
yeah, yeah,
Or draw it badly, man. You can
yeah.
afford a pencil.
Yeah,
You can
because
afford a pencil
we're
and
at
paper.
that
And just
age now where like I feel like AI is not going anywhere. It's just gonna increase in use and use and use, and I think eventually we're gonna get to that point where a lot of the things we consume as far as entertainment, whether it's music, because you've read this music artists that are AI artists. Like, how the hell is that happening? Like I think it's gonna get to a point where a lot of the media we consume is gonna be mostly AI. Like, just the artist is the
and I
person
hope
behind the
not.
prompts, and
I hope not
it's a
because
weird space to get into.
but man, that's going to be the death of creativity.
Oh,
I hope
absolutely.
not because it's just again, it's
Hmm.
just plagiarizing from stuff that's come before, and eventually, like it's going to eat its own tail. Like you
Yeah.
can't doing that and keep doing that and pushing creatives out the door because eventually it's just going to be even worse garbage than it is today because
Hmm.
it's just relying on itself. That's I mean, hey,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
programs go.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, man, you might be right. I hope you're not right,
Hmm.
but
Yeah. Because I mean, now you
if
look at
so, I think there's still be
yeah. I'm sorry, I could, but like, because if you spend 20
no, no, that's
minutes
okay. Like
scrolling on TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook, a lot of things we're looking at are AI videos. Like some videos you can't even tell them apart anymore. It's scary.
yeah, I
And
know, and I hate it. I hate every minute
yeah.
of it. Like, okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you: did you hear about there was a college student in Alaska
Uh-huh.
who the college was promoting AI. They had AI artwork up in their art gallery, and as a act of performance art slash protest,
Uh-huh.
he goes in, starts taking this stuff down off the wall,
Yep.
taking it out of the frame, and eating it.
Eating it.
Yeah, did you hear about that kid?
No.
Uh, so I actually, as it turns out, I actually know this kid.
Oh
Like
wow.
I've known his dad since high school, so I've known him since he
Okay.
was born.
Yeah.
And man, I couldn't be prouder of this dude.
Hmm.
Like he did it full on knowing that there would be consequences, knowing that
Yeah.
he would have to deal with, misdemeanor type of stuff with
Like
through
on
the
the
court.
legal side, yeah. You
He'd have
know.
some legal consequences. He knew that, and he's, been stand up about that, and he's dealing with it. So,
Hmm.
good for him. But he'd had enough. He'd brought his concerns to the university,
Hmm.
and they didn't listen. So he
Yeah.
felt like he had to do something to make them pay attention.
Yeah. I feel
And
because I feel like there's a lot of schools. I don't know if they're accredited or not, but I see a lot of advertisement. Again, social media, whatever you're scrolling on, like get a certification in prompt and chat GPT prompts. Like now they're like trying to give you like certification and degrees and just prompting,
man,
writing
I am
prompts.
just I can't tell. Like I never know enough. Like I don't have enough time in the day to fully research on this stuff.
Yeah.
But like the stuff that I like that I
Hmm.
see, because I see the same stuff.
Yeah.
is, oh, hey, if more people don't actually start using this, it's going to burst and
Hmm.
all these companies are going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes me smile. I like that idea. Let's see these companies go
Hmm.
bankrupt, because
Hmm.
the fact of the matter is, like, is there like you figure out a way to compensate the creators for the
Hmm.
works that you are using,
Yeah.
and you put something in there
Hmm.
where you have to, yeah, it would have to be on the programming side, where you cannot say do it in the style of this artist.
Yeah.
You cannot say do this or do that to mimic
Hmm.
some other artist or some
Hmm.
other famous
Yeah,
work.
because now
It
it's
would
just
have to
ripping
be
off. Yeah.
right, which is exactly what people are doing with it.
Hmm.
And then maybe we can start having a conversation about, is this ethical to use
Yeah.
in the creative
Hmm.
space?
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Now,
oh, hey,
on
the
that,
AI company's like, well, if we had to pay people for it, then we'd go out of business. Like,
yeah. Now on that note, right?
if
Where where what you just said, right? The person writing the prompt is like, I want you to make me a superhero like Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like really ripping off another IP and then try to claim it yours. Clearly, that's not that's a no-go. You know what I'm saying? But now what if the creator is like his prompt is I want to make a superhero who does A, B, and C, looks like A, B, everything all original. Out of your
Mhm.
brain, out of your head. I don't want it to look like Batman or Superman. Completely separate those. This is a 100% character I'm creating in my head. Let's make this and we'll tweak it out till we get it right. How do you feel about kind of going in that route? No,
Where did these
completely off the board.
where did the software get the ideas for it? Where did it, like
That's another
it's
point. Yeah,
it
it's
stole
getting
the
it
artwork.
from
It
yeah.
took it from people without compensation.
Hmm.
So no, like
Yeah.
it is 100% no for me. And like I say, no
Hmm.
matter how far it permeates, like my position is going to be like, we're going to be actual humans making this.
Yeah.
And I think if we get to the point where it's more and more
Hmm.
accepted, and I hope not. Like,
Hmm.
look, man, people told us NFTs were inevitable.
Yeah.
People told us
Yep.
Bitcoin was inevitable.
Hmm.
But nah, it's
Yeah.
not, if we say we don't like it and we're not going to
Hmm.
use it. So
Yeah.
I'm
I feel
saying,
like regardless of where we head, because AI is here. That's not going nowhere. But as you know, we're still a lot of people are still gonna keep that.
but
The
what it becomes isn't inevitable. That's the thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like the framework of the technology, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's not going away.
exactly. Hmm.
But what that becomes
Yeah.
isn't inevitable. And we're in that fight now
Hmm.
to to push that in
Yeah.
the right direction.
That's why I feel
I
like
hope
the
we
indie
can.
scene, whether it's comics, music, I always feel like the indie scene will always keep that originality alive because we're all creators. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, we all want to make money. Of course. It would be nice to make money off what we do, but I feel like a lot of
Sure.
us we do it because we love to create, whether it's writing a story, drawing a cover. It just sometimes it's therapeutic. It just
That's it,
feels
man.
feels great, and that's why I love being in this scene. Like, you know, I always tell people when it comes to things like AI and tools like AI, I'm like, listen, there's pros and cons, no matter how you put it. With everything in life, there's pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? What works for people, what don't work for people. I do,
Yeah.
I try to, you know, s- I try not to get involved in a lot of the back and forth, like people gonna do what people gonna do. You know what I mean? I love to
Yeah.
create, I love to write, you know, and I mean I kind of in a way see how people utilize it as a tool. Yeah, whatever. But I wouldn't allow it to be my end all be all. You know what I mean? If I have a
And
question, like a Google search kind of question, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe
right.
it'll
Like,
give me a more specific answer than like a random Google search
yeah.
would be. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
just here's the thing, just for me personally,
mhm.
as a writer,
Yeah,
my comics would not be as good as they are if I just popped into AI and tried
yeah.
to put together what I originally saw in my head when I was writing
hmm
it. They are a million times better because
You put your heart
Casey
into
looked
it.
at it and put
Yeah.
his imprint on it and
Everyone
said,
put a
this
little bit of them
this
in it.
this panel, this part of the story needs to be a little bit more
hmm
like this.
Yeah. hmm
And
It gives you that input,
I'm not
that
giving that up for the world,
human.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100
Yeah, there's
percent
no way
agree.
I'm giving that up.
Yeah, because like I said,
Because
everyone involved puts their heart into it. You putting your heart into your story, everyone working with you, they're giving you a piece of them. And there's no computer program, no AI model in 1,000 years that's gonna give you that soul. You know what I mean?
right.
Because like I said, anything creative, any creative project, if it doesn't have a soul in it, if you just wrote something or write something, didn't really put you into it, it's gonna fall flat. Like I
Yep.
always try to put a
Absolutely.
little bit of me into everything I write because I feel like that's where my authenticity comes from.
Well, you have to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole writing process. That's the whole art
hmm
process
Yeah.
is it's your vision, your take on
Yeah.
it.
Because
And
a
yeah,
lot of people
computers
ask
can't
about
make art.
money. A lot of people, oh, you could make good money. I'm like, I mean, you could make good money doing just about anything. You could
But
make no money doing what you think everybody makes big money from doing. It's all a hit or miss, but it's about
yep.
how much of yourself are you investing into it? Not just
I would rather
financially, but how much of you are you putting? If you're not putting anything if you're not putting yourself into your project, we could see that, we could read that, we could hear that, like we could tell like you didn't care, so why should I care?
exactly. And look, man, I'd rather make comics, make my comics the right way, tell my stories
Yeah,
how they should be told, and never get more than a few hundred readers on it
yeah,
than be lazy, put it together using some program.
mm-hmm, yeah,
And even if I'm making more money off it, like I said,
yeah,
look, am I fortunate enough that I'm not looking at this and saying I can't eat if I don't make money off it? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm I'm fortunate to be in that position, but
mm-hmm, yeah,
man, look, I'm not cutting corners on this.
yeah,
Like you
because I feel
want
like
to,
there's some people that want to get in to make they want to have the next big Marvel or DC hit. Like it doesn't doesn't work
look,
that
man, you
way.
can't get into it for that. Like
hmm
you can't like I say, this comes again from knowing a lot of these crit and as talented as all these folks are. And
yeah,
trust me, if you're working at Marvel or DC or Image, you are talented. You've got the goods. There's
yeah,
nobody there. It's like, look, man, the worst player on an NFL roster is still the top half of percent of football players
yeah,
in the
he's
entire
still in the
world.
NFL,
Like,
absolutely.
this is still a bad man playing
Yeah.
football.
Exactly.
whether he's ever going to
Exactly.
see the field. And like, and it's the same way with these comic creators, but there are people that have the same level of ability that will
Hmm.
never get that chance.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's okay because it's always been that way with entertainment.
Hmm.
There are actors that are as good as the most famous actor out there that are never going to be on their screen.
Yeah.
It's because there are just not that many spots
Yeah. We're all
to do it.
fighting
And
for the top spots, because like I said, we also got to compete with these machines, Marvel and DC, where they could pump out projects one
but
after the
if we're
other.
all willing to help each other and pump each other up, like
Exactly.
there's enough there for
We're
everybody,
all
man.
putting out exactly. The more one we become, the more of a competition we give the big boys, because
Exactly.
as a community, we are Marvel and DC. Like we have that because I've got my projects. You putting your projects out. This person got a couple projects out. Like we should be pumping out. We could be pumping out comics,
It's just a matter
20
of
stories a week.
getting the stories to the
Hmm.
audience.
Yeah.
And that's where the struggle always is with
It's
indie
oh. Hmm.
comics
Hmm.
because the readers are out there, the fans
Yeah.
are out there,
Yeah.
and but if you're the lucky one, like man, like
Lightning does strike. It does
it
strike.
does, but man, who you can't count on being Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
Like you can't count on being somebody ah, man, um, Brian K. Vaughan. I was blanking on his name. You can't count on being somebody like that who
Hmm.
just goes their own route, writes an indie comic, and bam,
Yeah.
you you're famous. You
Yeah.
got this huge
Mhm.
property. Can it happen? It can
It
happen,
can. Yeah. But
but
it's not that realistic.
those dudes are like literally one in a million.
Yeah. Hmm.
And but you it won't happen if you don't put your stuff out
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
So just
Absolutely.
go write the best story you can write, draw the best
Hmm.
story you can draw,
Yeah.
and you'll find an audience. Maybe there might always be more folks out there, but you keep getting out there, you keep doing shows like this, you keep going to conventions,
Yeah.
a few more people see it, a few more people see it, and who knows? That's the
Hmm.
way that maybe the right person's going to see it that can really amplify it and break it open for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like I feel 100% like you lightning strikes, but sometimes it's better to go through the rain. Like you sometimes you need to experience the struggle of having to sometimes take years to get a buzz if you get that buzz, like building that fan base 100 views at a time, like a week or something like that, like
Like
you
I
got to
said,
sometimes you got to
that's the thing,
walk.
man. Like, what's that?
I feel like sometimes you got to walk before you can run.
Oh, 100%, man. And look,
Hmm.
like, I'm a perfect example. I swear this is not like a humble brag of some sort. Like, but look, man, I had my very first comic. I got contributions from, Gail Simone, Walter Giovanni, Tom Rainey.
Yeah, that's
Like,
great.
and you know what? We did pretty well with it, but
Hmm.
I'm not rolling in cash from the Kickstarter on Heroes and Zeros. They
Hmm.
definitely helped bring eyes to it, though. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have had the success I had without them.
exactly.
And the last issue we had, Stephanie Phillips was giving us a promo on TikTok. We had Gail
Nice.
posting, reposting stuff. Again, it absolutely helped. Still, but we're still not like, and that's the struggle with the indie is like, no matter what kind of exposure you might get, converting that into, hey, yeah, I'm gonna throw some money at this. I'm gonna
Yeah,
really check it out.
converting them views into dollars.
And one of the things I've been told from folks that have been doing it longer than me is, once you get the first series completed, you can do the trade paperback, the collected edition. That's really when you start seeing some growth because now
Hmm.
people are like, okay, I can go through this whole series. I don't have to worry about is this guy going to finish it? Is it going to
Exactly.
be done? And that's when you can start really building. And so
Hmm.
that's what I'm hoping to see that. once we get, because Heroes and Zeros should be the first one we get completely done with that first arc. And of
Oh,
course, we
absolutely. From what I've seen and just read so far, like I don't see that being a much of a problem for you. I feel like
it's going to be fun, man. Look,
you've got something
I
hot.
want those stories to be fun.
Hmm.
Like, look, there's a place for there's a big place for like horror and drama and
Yeah.
serious
Hmm.
romance and whatever. Comics are great for that. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I love the medium is it is so versatile. You can
Hmm.
tell so many, but man, you can tell some weird ass stories you
And
cannot
get away
tell
with it. Yeah.
in other genres or
Yeah.
in other mediums.
Exactly.
And
You could just get
that's the beauty of
really
comics.
you can get really creative. You got a bigger canvas to work with creatively, I feel. You know?
Exactly, exactly. Like, have you read Saga from Brian K. Vaughan?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. And make sure, man. Some people still, but like, that's a weird ass story. It is one of the best comics I've ever read.
Hmm.
And I haven't heard from in a while. But the last time I was there, I remember, I was at Baltimore Comic Con several years ago when he was one of the
Okay.
guests. And I was sort of half working for him and helping him out at the booth and everything. And he was pretty adamant. He's like, he's had a lot of his works adapted.
Yeah.
This was before they had started, rebooted or continued with Saga. It was when it
Hmm.
was on hiatus for a while.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I don't ever plan to have Saga adapted in any
Yeah.
way. There's no way you could do this story justice in another
Yeah.
format.
Sometimes you just can't. You can't.
And like I respect that, man. Like
Yeah,
it's perfect.
absolutely.
It is one of the
It's
best
where it
comics.
needs to be, you know?
Yep,
Sometimes
exactly.
things just need they're in a
I,
certain
I'm
lane and they should stay in that lane. But before we wrap up, I just want you to, if you have any advice to, like I said, the new creator or someone really new and that's just really trying to get the ball rolling, like what are the gems you have to offer to that
things, man.
person?
Two things. Number one, get out there and be part of the community. Talk to other indie creators, talk to other pros. You can do that through social media now, and you can really
Yeah.
get a lot of good advice and a lot of good interaction from really big name creators. But
Oh yeah.
also, like I say, people like me who have three comics that they published. People like the folks over at Summit. People
Hmm.
Divergent Comics is a great one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Loomy Bug. That's the one we got. Yeah, there's a lot of great indie publishers out there that you have never heard of that are putting out phenomenal stories.
Hmm.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
I promise you, we will all talk to you if you come to us and say, like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about your experience doing it." We'll talk to you. Number two, make the thing, man. I
Yeah.
know it's gotten cliche, but
Hmm.
there has never been a better time to just do. You can self-publish now. You can go out through
Yeah.
Kickstarter. You can
It,
build an audience through
mhm.
social media. You can
Yeah,
do all.
it's easier
Look,
now.
one of the biggest new creators out there right now is Zoe Thorogood.
Hmm.
How'd she build her audience? Twitter.
Yeah.
Like she was putting her stuff out there on Twitter and then put out her own graphic novel that was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And now she's getting, she's still doing her own stuff, but she's getting big gigs.
Hmm.
She is a big name at this point
Yeah.
just because she just went and did it. And again, like, look, man, I don't have Zoe's personality. I don't have her,
Hmm.
charisma on social media to draw the audience in. I can't draw half as good as she can, but but that but, but that's the thing. Like you say, lightning struck right there.
Yeah. Hmm.
But there's other ways.
Yeah.
Danny Earls,
Hmm.
the artist. You familiar?
Yeah.
Okay, so Danny, man, former professional soccer player, and he decided before he stopped playing soccer, he's like, I'm going to learn how to draw because I love comics and I want to draw comics when I
Huh.
retire. And so he was just in his studio at home, drawing.
Just putting in that work.
Whenever he wasn't training for soccer, that's
Yeah.
what he was doing. And there was, I think it was at Thought Bubble a few years ago, and he was there and he was telling the story. I heard him telling the story a little while ago. Like he was at Thought Bubble. He saw Gail Simone. He had his portfolio. He saw Gail Simone at her table, and he was gonna
Huh.
go talk to her, but she had a big line. He's like, ah, nah, man. And he chickened out and he walked out the
Yeah.
door. And he's like, nah, I'm going back.
Yeah.
And he goes back and he talks to Gail, who is, ray of sunshine in human form and one of the most supportive creators you'll ever meet.
Hmm.
Um, and she looked at his work and she was like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Except I don't think Gail says crap, but um,
Yeah,
you
you just
know,
gotta put
and
yourself out
she
there. Just do it.
took a couple pictures of it with her phone and tweeted out like, hey editors, here's this guy, Danny Earls. Hire him now while you still can.
And then look,
And Danny's been working ever since.
see what I'm saying?
Like, and he's one of the biggest, and man, he is one of the absolute, like, if I'm talking about the best artists working right now,
Hmm.
it's hard to find somebody that's better than Danny. Like
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's how he got in. Like
Exactly.
he just did the work, showed it to, went to a convention, showed it to somebody who absolutely loved it,
Hmm. Yeah.
and there
That's
you
what it
go.
is. Yeah. I mean, if you want lightning strike, you gotta step outside, pretty much.
Yeah,
You gotta go out, you guys gotta go out there, you know?
go out
And
there, be ready for people to tell you no.
yeah, oh,
And
not everyone is gonna like anything you do, but
no, and be
you're
ready for
gonna
people to
have
tell you
those
no.
that
But
do.
that's where you say just do it. Because look, the reason I decided to start Acorn Comics, to start publishing this myself, I didn't want to wait for permission.
Yeah,
Like I knew that we had good stories to tell.
exactly.
I wasn't going to wait for an editor at an established publisher to say, "Yeah, I agree with you," and I'm going to take a chance, because they're usually not going to take a chance on somebody they've never heard of.
Exactly. Hmm.
So like, just go
We gotta
do it.
do it ourselves.
And you know what? If that's your goal, is to be a have that as your job, have that as the thing you do to make your living. Once you get a few things out there, your chances are a whole lot better of one of these editors seeing it and saying, man, you know what? Maybe I'll throw a backup story your way on one of our books, or
Yeah,
maybe I'll do a one shot on
they'll
something
give you something.
and
They'll
see
give
and
you
see how it
something.
goes.
Hmm. Yeah,
Right.
agreed, agreed.
And then
Gotta
like
step
once you get
outside,
that shot, man, just
run with it.
you gotta nail it. That's your
Yeah.
shot.
Hmm.
You know?
That lightning bolt you've been waiting for.
Hmm.
Let's make it shocking.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But Paul, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. This is the second episode. I'm very excited. The first episode got a lot of great feedback, and I'd like, I'm hoping this can continue and grow, and who knows, maybe something will definitely come from this. But I definitely want to thank you for joining us today. Had a great conversation, and don't forget to check out Acorn, man. Acorn Comics doing their thing.
Hey,
Trust me, it's beautiful. Just the artwork, the story, everything is beautiful. This is probably he's probably gonna get struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying? Because I've
I
come
mean, we
across
got
a lot
lightning
of
on the
indie
cover at
projects.
least. So
Yeah, like I've come across a lot of indie projects. Some are great. Some some are cool. I'm really digging what you're putting out right now, and I definitely can't wait to see what else we got coming out of what you got going on up here. Definitely. But thank you for joining us today. I'm gonna have all your contact info below, and like I said, man, hopefully, we'll come on here again and we could talk about, the next couple of issues you got going out.
sounds good, man. Hey, thank you so much for having me on here. Been great. Love the energy, and let's see what happens with these next shows, man. I sense good things coming for you.
Thank you.